Prime Minister Lee also says the government will always be on the side of Singaporeans, but it needs to be open to foreign talent to create more opportunities for locals. He stresses that while the issue of fairness is taken very seriously, Singapore mustn't give the impression that it is not welcoming of foreigners. Mr. Lee says this is especially crucial at a time when some firms have expressed interest in investing here, even amid the downturn. Brendan Tanoto has more.
The economic turmoil from the pandemic has sharpened concerns about Singaporeans having to jostle with foreign talent for jobs. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong acknowledges that Singaporeans are concerned about fair treatment when it comes to hiring, promotions or retrenchments. He explains that while the perception of foreign competition is sharper during a downturn, employment pass and S-pass numbers have in fact come down since COVID-19. But he adds that the government will still have to adjust work pass schemes to level the playing field for Singaporeans.
The government will always be on the side of Singaporeans. What is the point of creating jobs for foreigners if it doesn't benefit Singaporeans? Why would we want to do that? Ultimately, our aim is to grow the economy, create good jobs for Singaporeans, and raise our standards of living. Foreign workers and work pass holders help us to achieve this. By being open to talent from all over the world, we create more opportunities for ourselves.
Mr. Lee says this is especially important as investors that prize political stability and rule of law look to Singapore as a safe harbour in a troubled world. He adds that as investors with regional presence rethink their locations, Singapore is one of the few trusted countries that stand out.
Indeed, EDB and MAS tell me that many companies have expressed interest in coming to Singapore. Some projects you would have heard about. For example, Hyundai Motor has just announced plans to set up a major facility here to undertake R&D and develop future mobility technologies. But there are others yet that have not been announced or are still under wraps, are being discussed, and are hopefully on the way. I can't tell you these confidential discussions, but I can give you a small peek. For example, a pharmaceutical company is planning to build a facility in Singapore to manufacture vaccines. Another company specializing in pandemic risk insurance wants to set up shop here. These are opportunities which are directly coming out of the crisis. There are other companies which are coming to Singapore or looking seriously at coming to Singapore. Several Fortune 500 firms are considering moving their regional HQs here because of political uncertainties elsewhere. Major financial institutions want to grow their operations in Singapore too. They see good prospects in Singapore. They see us as a stable base to work from. We want to talk to them to see how they can fit in here in Singapore to create good jobs for Singaporeans. But for them to come here, they must feel welcome and be allowed to bring in the talent that they need.
Access to global talent is also needed for local firms to grow their capabilities. Mr. Lee explains that small and medium-sized enterprises need skills and expertise that may be lacking. For instance, the knowledge to move up the value chain. Progress like this can then create new quality jobs for Singaporeans.
So the economic benefits of our foreign worker policies are very clear. But there's a more fundamental question which we have to ask ourselves, and that is, what sort of society, what sort of people do we want to be? We've always been a people open to the world, welcoming others who can add value to our society and bring the best out of us. This is our history and our ethos, from our beginnings as an open port and an immigrant nation. The bicentennial last year reminded us of that. This generosity of spirit gives our society and economy vitality and resilience. It's made Singapore the exceptional cosmopolitan city that we are today, plugged into the global economy and making a living by making ourselves valuable to the world. We may be under stress now, but we cannot afford to turn inwards. We will adjust our policies to safeguard Singaporean jobs, but let us show confidence that Singaporeans can hold our own in the world.